fact. That's Lawrence.
No more room in hell. The dead walk here.
What's up, horror fiends? It's your boy Ricky Grimes. I'm back with the three corners of horror. Today I got my beer brother, my co-host, the man, Joe the psychologist, my brother. How are you, bro?
I'm glad we're doing this one because I saw the review and I did finally get to watch the movie because we said we were gonna do this one, and I'm legit scared of dogs, especially big dogs, and my cousin's got one, and I was very trepidatious around her.
I am ecstatic to hear your perspective, your opinion, your thoughts, and what you have to say about this movie, bro. Because you know I fucking love it. So, Joe the psychologist, are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
In this video, we will be discussing When Evil Lurks. It's written and directed by Demián Rugna. The film stars Ezekiel Rodriguez as Pedro and Damian Solomon as Jimmy. You can find this film streaming on AMC Plus and Shudder. Joe, my brother, I'm gonna let you go first because, like I said, we didn't really talk about this much. I know you saw it already, obviously, but I need to know what you think about this. Brother, Uriel. Let's talk Uriel. That fat bastard, bro. That guy was disgusting. So
Yeah.
let's say me and you, right? We're these two guys chilling, right? We find this corpse that's ripped in. Like, all you see is actually just the lower half of the
Just the
fucking
lower half.
body.
You don't even
That's
have
it.
the other.
Yeah. All signs lead to this house of Maria Elena. So you go to Maria Elena. She has her other son there. She explains to you, nah, the cleaner didn't show up. You're asking yourself, what is a cleaner? You find out her oldest son, Uriel, is possessed. And now he is a rotten. And not only was he possessed, though, he's been a rotten for a long time. If you were in the position of Pedro and Jimmy, what would you have done with Uriel? Like, would you have, like, even got close to that motherfucker? What's good, son?
Fuck no. When I would have saw that in my brain, I would have saw, Daniel from Nope going, nope, turn right back around. I didn't even see this.
Bro.
I got no questions for you. I'm out. Rick, we got to go back to the house. We got to pack our shit. We got to get the fuck out of here. That don't look good. And it looked like it smelled.
Oh, bro! As soon as you walk in there, you can see them like going like this, and
the way they
flies.
acted, I sat there and I'm like, I can smell that. I can smell that right now. I literally can smell that. And when it spat out, like it was close enough to like making my stomach like, you're like, oh God, yeah, like fuck no, man. Honestly, I know it's for movies. The movie would have been over, I guess, if I would have been the one who came across it, because it would have just been a short. Me walking in, us going back, packing, and the headlights as we drive away. But yeah, no way would I have gotten at all involved with that. And I'm Catholic too, so that shit looked possessed. Yeah, it's I don't know what's going on here, man. It's like I would have walked in.
Nah, son, nah, he was all sorts of fucked up.
Oh yeah, no.
What I found interesting about this certain situation is when Maria Elena explained that he's possessed and for a long time, and now he's rotten now. Pedro and Jimmy, they weren't like, what? They knew what a possessed person was, what a rotten is. So this demon already lives within the same world that our characters inhabit. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's the one question I had. I wish they were more in depth in that aspect of the film, because as you can see, Uriel is pretty much giving birth to the devil himself, right?
Pretty much.
So what happens is they have this genius idea with Ruiz over here, the landowner.
Yeah, he's the landowner.
Yeah, they take Uriel and they try to dump him far away from here as possible without killing him, because of course there's rules, and that's another thing. They don't really explain the rules. Now, if you shoot the motherfucker, the demon spreads to who kills him.
Yep.
But they never really got in depth with that. And it looks like a lot of characters didn't know about those rules, and certain characters did, which is
Not till
strange.
the end, like right at the end
Yes.
is when the rules were kind of given.
Yeah. So I was a little confused at first. I saw this a couple times. It made more sense a bit later, but I still had questions being, especially with children. And it looks like they definitely have a easier time possessing children, maybe, because we'll get into that a bit later. But that seems to be their main catalyst on how this spread. I'm sorry, I mentioned this in my review, but Pedro and Jimmy, oh man, as far as heroes, I liked them a lot because they were so like incompetent. They weren't smart at all. They did stupid decisions. Like, come on,
All
taking
along the way.
Uriel out of his house. That was dumb as fuck.
Did
Right?
you think that when they were carrying him on that sheet, because that was a fat motherfucker too.
Oh man.
So I don't know how they thought on a sheet they were going to be able to do that, but I really thought when they dropped them that it was just going to pop and all this pus.
Oh,
So
and they dropped him.
they did drop him, but what I liked about the whole scene, I literally all I was like, oh my god, they're gonna drop him. He's gonna hit, and he's just gonna break apart, and just be like green and red, and I'm gonna throw up.
That probably would have
Thankfully, it
been for
didn't
the
happen.
best though, because if he would have fell, dropped, broke apart, he would have died without getting shot. Would that have possibly killed the infection, the possession?
Probably,
Probably,
unless
right?
yeah.
And the thing is, how the fuck were they gonna carry this big ass motherfucker out of that house without touching him? Like,
It was.
and there's another part when they picked him up, and it looks like he dropped something. Uriel dropped something from the bed, and Jimmy sees it because the camera goes to Jimmy. He sees the object. That is Chekhov's gun. Like, okay, it's telling you he sees this object that's gonna come into play later. And there was a scene later when they're driving with their mother, Jimmy and Pedro, that is, and she's kind of talking to Santino, their Pedro's
boy.
son, and she's explaining to him, some of these rules with the possession. And one is don't take objects that belong to them. So when she said that, I'm like, oh, that's what Jimmy did. He took it, whatever that was.
Yep.
That's how it spreads. But it never went back to that. The way it spread was because of fucking Pedro's dirty ass clothes.
I know that was the worst.
So that makes it even more like, wait a minute, even your clothes can. Oh, bro,
Yep.
that's crazy. And that tells you because Pedro had the shit on him, it didn't touch him. But the moment an animal touched them clothes, all right, let's be real. The dog was licking it, so maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think Pedro was licking it. So, but anyway, getting back to this now, this scene here with this dog, this sets off this chain reaction of events that is pure fucking chaos, bro. What were your thoughts when the chaos hit? And talk about it freely right now. Everything you need to say about the scene, because this shit was brutal, bro.
Well, see, for me, it actually started before with Ruiz and his wife.
Oh, we didn't talk about that yet. Bring
When
it
they
up.
were
Let's do
when
it.
they were at his his property.
I got a question for you when you get a chance.
For me, the chaos started spreading at Ruiz's farm because when the wife goes out and you hear her screaming, you're seeing like the sheep were all kind of, I guess, cradled all around one that was just straight up looking at her.
Is that how she knew it was possessed?
Yes.
'Cause I was
All the
wondering
other
that.
ones were moving around, and that one's just like, I see you, bitch.
Wow.
And so she's screaming because when he comes out, that goat, then his eye contact went to Ruiz.
Yes.
And then, she told him, don't shoot it. Because again, these town people have known of this. This must, it must just be something that folklore. I'm going to go with folklore. That's probably why I feel this might fit in, not so much demonic possession, but like some type of folklore kind of thing.
Considering everyone knows about this, it's like
And there's
it is
rules to
almost
it.
like, yes, it is almost like a fairy tale to them. It is
Yes.
folklore.
It's not
because-
religious rules.
No, it's not.
It's all practical, like all these little rules. So after she tells him not to shoot the goat, and I'm sitting here going, really, Rick watched this movie? And then it blows the goat's head off. And then the wife hits him with the machete, or not a machete, the axe, but she's taken the axe to her face, and then from there,
repeatedly, bro.
yes. I mean, it wasn't even like she kept going. I'm like in my head, like, dude, she's already cracked herself open. She's still going. but this is the evil spreading around.
By the way, that whole sequence was shown in the trailer, which is why I don't watch trailers at all. Like, why would you show that? They showed the guy killing the goat, her killing him, and her killing herself. Right? It's on the trailer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Good.
See, I didn't watch the trailer.
Don't watch don't watch trailers, horror fiends.
Yeah,
Don't
don't do it. Yeah, I that's why like and none of the so which we'll get to shortly. The only thing I knew was images. So I knew there was an image of a woman with an axe, and then there was the image of the girl standing next to the dog, which I thought was just this large leash. So when Pedro and heads up to what was his wife's name? Sabrina's house, and he's taking his clothes off, because he wants to burn it.
In front of her husband, right?
The husband who comes walking out, ex-husband standing there buck naked. What the hell are you doing? And then, as you said, the dog starts licking the clothes, and you see the little girl. So I'm in my head going, oh God, so the evil's now going to jump at the little girl. Now I get what the cover is, where she's standing there looking. She's going to let the dog go, and he's going to attack the dad. And then that's not at all what fucking happened. At all.
See, I knew it. I sensed the foreshadowing. They kept showing the dog. They kept going to the dog constantly with the girl, obviously, but they kept focusing on the dog. And when the dog reacted, whoo, bro, walk through that.
I was trying to recall if I've seen a horror movie where an animal's mauled a child, and not like, actual horror movie, not like, the movies that are done that are based on actual events type of things. Right. But then dragged her around. It was brutal. I just sat there and I'm like, wow, this is fucking intense to do it to a kid.
And the way it was filmed, bro, top-notch stuff. It didn't look cheesy at all. It looked real.
No, it looked real. So that's why when I went to my cousin's house for New Year's Eve, and Cora, his big pit bull, who, she thinks she's a Chihuahua, and I was just like, I see you. Don't get close to me right now. And he's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I watched When Evil Lurks. He's like, oh yeah, I get it then. I'm like, oh, you saw the movie? Yeah, I totally get it. I'm like, so, I love her, but I'm scared of big dogs again now after watching that.
Bro, I would be too, man.
But yeah, and then she disappears while the dog drags her away, and they all go looking for her, and the father ends up shooting the dog. You're not supposed to shoot.
After Pedro repeatedly kept telling Leonardo was his name. Leo, don't shoot the dog. Don't shoot.
And he does it. And then he comes home. The little girl shows up, supposed to be dead, and then tells her, you're going to die. Daddy's going to come around and hit you with a truck.
Yeah, I caught that the second time around. Vicky, that's Leonardo and Sabrina's kid. She pretty much foreshadowed to Sabrina her death, bro. I didn't catch that the first time.
Oh, because it so the evil that's as is jumping around, like it's speaking through the kids.
Yeah,
and I guess making the adults do their actions, but it was just, it just kept going. I fucking love this movie. I definitely will watch it again. But I think I told you I texted once, and it was only so I can pause, so I can smoke, because I didn't want to smoke while I was watching the movie, because I wanted to concentrate on the movie. And I messaged you real quick, and then I put the phone down. I never picked up the phone to research the movie. Didn't just sat there. And like I said, when he bit her, I can't recall when's the last time that my jaw was in my lap. And I say, oh my God.
I saw that. I'm like, oh no. It was so intense because everything happened so fast. Like Pedro, he has Sabrina's car. He sees Vicky there, knowing Vicky got fucking mauled. She's over happy, and He's like, nah, this isn't right. So they proceed to steal Sabrina's car. As they're pulling out, Leonardo comes in, just bulldozes his way right past like that whole section and creams her, bro. Smashes her against the fucking house. And the whole time, Vicky's dancing in the background. When she was with her mom, now she's dancing. So you know, oh, okay, this reminded me of like the remake of Dawn of the Dead on a smaller scale, but just as impactful. When they got all this crazy shit happening around around that city, and you see just everything happening at once. People just going crazy.
Yeah.
That's what this reminded me of.
That's
And yeah, so and Pedro and Jimmy, they know what's up. So they're like, all right, we gotta get the ladder. So they go and grab their mom, and now they're gonna go. What they were trying to leave town,
Yeah, they were
right?
gonna leave town. They were
Yeah.
just gonna get out of town.
Yeah.
And then end up I didn't remember her name either, but I guess
Mita.
somebody that Jimmy used
She
to
was
see
a
when he
former
was younger,
cleaner.
and
She
she
was
was
a
a
former
cleaner.
cleaner. So that's how Jimmy knows her, and that's how. Yeah. So if she was a former cleaner, like I said, they live in a world where this is the norm. You know.
Yep. And the
But
interesting part with how if a child's autistic, how when they get
oh
possessed,
my god, so great. Let's talk about this. Jair is another son of Pedro, who is autistic. And yes, the demon possesses Jair, right? But the problem is they can't figure out his brain. So the demon is pretty much stuck there in his body.
and explains it with the contorted hands and
Yes,
the
and the
feet.
feet.
I
Yup.
thought that was a great like a nuance to add to
Yeah.
possession. Because again, I don't also recall seeing a movie where a special needs child was possessed. So the movie added a whole other nuance with a special needs child being possessed and what it does to them and how a non-special needs is different. And I liked it because then when it really like turned it on the head was as in the mistake in all horror movies, they all separate. Like literally they all separated. Three different actually two directions and left mom behind with Jair, and all of a sudden he comes walking in straight and tells grandma I'm hungry.
Yeah, I would have been like, okay, if I'm
Well,
her,
she knew something was wrong because from what from if the other impression I got, he's non-communicative.
yeah, not at all.
So now he's just walking straight and just clearly talking.
Yup.
And she sat there and she's like, and it's like I'm like, oh, grandma just went, oh shit.
Yeah.
And it was I just the movie bought a whole lot of new.
Jimmy knew because Mita had told Jimmy about it. He kind of like brushed it off. No, no, you're talking nonsense.
He should have told mom.
If you would have said something, mom wouldn't have met her fate the way she did, and I think Pedro would have had a better time at the end of this movie.
Oh yeah, I mean, because basically he ate grandma.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
let's go back to this because Maria Elena had another younger son. I forgot his name. Now this kid was possessed. He's the one that killed the cleaner like 4 days ago originally, and a few days prior to this, he killed his mother and ate her. And he warns Jimmy and Pedro. I don't know if they're both there or not, but warns
warned
them.
Jimmy.
Yeah, it was Jimmy. Warns them that the same fate is gonna meet their own mother.
Yep.
And of course, Jimmy's like, huh? What? And of
Listen.
course, that's exactly what fucking happened, bro.
Yep. And
Yeah.
don't forget that Sabrina also she ended up getting her hands on the youngest son.
Okay. All right. This one here, all right, I need a drink for this one. Hold on. Brother, I've been watching horror movies for a very long time, right? I've seen them from all shapes, sizes, genres, regions. The fact that this mother was filmed, right? They filmed it, her walking along the street because Jimmy went looking for her in his car. Well, Sabrina's car. He's driving. The irony. She's walking down the street. He slows down and she has Santino in her arms. and she's reaching with her hand into his fucking skull,
And just
pulling out his fucking brain matter and just eating it. And they're showing it.
Yep.
It ain't like, no, they're implying it. No. They're showing it. Not just once, multiple times, bro. And the look on Jimmy's face when he sees that, like, oh my God, the horror. And the fact that he has to now take that car, smash her against the fucking tree. That was an incredible moment because they did not shy back. And my review for this, I labeled it a hard-hitting film that keeps hitting harder.
Yep.
You think, okay, no one's safe. Children, animals, elderly, it don't matter. This film takes no prisoners. And I said it, takes no shit. This film here has balls. And that's what I fucking love.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of animals and children being hurt in films, but the way this movie like projected that, I'm okay with it. You know? I don't know what it was. It didn't bother me as much as, you know, it would in certain other movies, but this movie here, because it told me, okay, it's doing it in a way though where it's not just doing it for like the shock and awe.
Shock value. Yep.
It's the story. It's what happens. They're not shying away from it. You know what I'm saying?
You just took all the words literally out of like every everything you just said was a sentences in my head in the same order. I'm like,
think alike, bro.
I know.
You have to go all the way with it because if you shy away from the violence, it just turns to everything else, and you don't want a movie that is so like sanitized. You know, you don't want that. Not for a movie like this, especially because it shows you that an evil like this, it there's no boundaries. It don't care who you are or what you are. It's taking you. It's fucking fascinating to me, bro.
There was Heido eats grandma. Jimmy has to run over already dead Sabrina, who just ate the son, leaving Pedro to not know what the hell's going on behind.
Yeah.
They come across the school, or like I guess the Mita has with all her little devices, ways of figuring things out.
Yeah, she has all this equipment that can kill the rotten without spreading it.
Yeah, so they're like, you know, like I mean, they're like,
again, without cutting you off, I wish they would have went a little deeper into why are these rules in place. They never went into it. You know, they just talked about it that they're there, but we don't know why you can't use firearms. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, the thing is though that that adds a little bit more to the movie because if every single little thing would have been explained to you in the movie.
But that's what I mean. I don't want to I don't want to be spoon fed, but at least give me some like
a little bit on
some nuggets that I could grab them nuggets. You know, when you have a nugget, you're like, oh, fuck, this is good. You dip it. Oh my!
And you want some more? I know,
and
but
you keep
eventually
looking for it, and you gotta search on your own merit. You know, I don't want everything. I don't like when people tell me everything. All right, but it was a little too vague, just for me though. Just for me.
I know. I mean, but again, the Minta gave a little bit backstory on it. You know, you got a little bit. It made you know that there are people in place to be able to take care of this.
Yeah.
They've always been in place.
Right.
You know, the parents, when they were there to, you know, would obviously watch their kids do this, are the parents going, oh my God, I hope my child don't try this on me. You know, right? Because it was so effectively and scarily shot. You know, it was another great scene amongst many scenes.
Yeah.
But he basically, you know, after seeing that Mirta's dad loses it, Uriel's taunting him, and then he grabs that bar, bashes the head in, and out comes the little boy. And that for me, so
that's right. So the boy was born from you. So the boy's a demon.
Yes.
Born from Uriel's flesh.
Yep.
Right.
And now all these kids, you know, the kids walk away and follow him.
And they're all possessed.
They're all possessed. But beforehand, the demon left marks on Pedro's head. Yeah. So for me, like the ambiguity that it leaves me is, did the demon put that mark on him? Because right at the end, he's cleaning himself and it's still there. He couldn't get it off.
Yeah, I took it as he's fucking with him because
you're going to watch everything.
Yes. At the end of the movie, aside from Jimmy, Pedro lost everything. all his family
Yep.
gone except
But
for
by
his brother.
marking him though,
Maybe something
is
to remember by
nothing is
him.
going to happen. Well, no, because now it's going to keep spreading.
Yeah.
So for me, by marking him, it's made him invulnerable from getting possessed, so you can
You
watch
just gotta watch everything.
everything that's going to happen. I got one more little way I'm gonna fuck with you.
Nah,
When you
man.
get home, you're gonna
Yeah,
find
that's
out
worse.
everything is
That-
gone.
That's a fate worse than death,
Yep.
bro.
Yep.
What he went through. So at the end, yeah, we talked about it earlier. You know, he found out that his son Jair killed and ate his own mother. Well, his grandmother, Pedro's mother. Now, obviously, Jair's gone because he's possessed now, so he lost him.
I think he killed him.
Did it? But they didn't show it, right?
Because when
They
at this point,
yeah.
Jair actually was somewhat back to himself because he was just sitting there choking.
I think
and
the
he
demon
pulled
was using the
out
autism as like a cover. Like, I'm hiding in this. He's got autism, so you're never gonna find me in here because you're gonna
Well-
see him, and you're gonna think, oh no, that's how he is.
But he pulled out grandma's hair and her necklace,
Yep.
and then you hear the screaming, and then he comes walking out. So I think he killed him. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
again,
You're right. But how
bitter
did he
age.
kill him? He can't shoot him, so
I mean, it
There's
happened.
rules,
What?
there's
Yeah,
rules, you
yeah.
can't-
We
I don't
didn't
get-
see what happened on the inside.
that's what I mean, bro. I want to know the exact rules. Can you just take a knife and cut his head off or something? Because Mita built this whole contraption to kill this motherfucker because that's what takes it not to special. Okay, if you gotta build something like a weapon,
Make it easier.
yeah, what the?
That's a
fuck?
whole lot of parts, and then it's got to
Oh.
go on the nape. I'm like, you know, like
Yeah.
how the hell you want to get it back here? Like how?
Let's send the audience home happy. This is what we have to do. Okay, we have to do that. If you're a director, a writer-director, let's say, you could be both, or you could be one and a partner is the other. Nothing sucks more than to be like shackled in creativity when you have to make sure everything is tied up nice for the audience could go home happy. Now, that's not to say you have to make a bad ending, because maybe you want to do a good ending, but sometimes you don't. This is why when Terrifier 3, when it was announced, and all these bullshit articles came out with saying, oh, Hollywood studios want nothing to do with Demián Leone and Terrifier, and he had to come out, the director Demián Leone had to come out and say, no. Now, it's a little misleading, that title, because I know as a director, a writer-director, that all these studios want an R rating. But the vision that I want to shoot this movie in, I know they won't allow it to happen. So
Yeah.
we're going independent. We're going to go unrated. And that's awesome. I love that. Some directors, they want the money. They want no. So, Rugna here, we got Terrified. And now we got When Evil Lurks. He's quickly becoming one of my favorite directors to look out for, because he doesn't try and fit into anyone's mold. He tells the stories the way he wants to tell them, and if it involves a little bit of, not happy endings, so to speak, then so be it.
All the new things that it brought.
Can I ask
And
you a question
again-
real quick? Answer this first, and I got a question to ask you.
No,
All
go ahead. What's your question?
We just did our stream for the best of 2023, right? You didn't see this prior to that. Now that
Mm-mm.
you've seen this, where would you rank this one? Thanksgiving was your number one, which was mine as well. So what would you do? Where would you rank this one? Little bonus question to add.
It'd be because I have to think of what my other ones were, but it would definitely be either 2 or 3.
It'll be either. I still will keep Thanksgiving for me because I just had
Yeah,
so
Thanksgiving was
much
fine.
fun with that. And
Yeah.
this movie it's depressing in a good way, but depressing. Normally, I don't rank depressing movies like my number one favorite because I can't sit there. All right, let me go. I want to watch When Evil Lurks. I'm in a good mood. No,
Yeah, no.
you don't watch it for that. But yeah. I love this film and what it brings to the table. I think more writers and directors need to take note and not try to conform themselves to fit in anyone's box. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And-
4.5, 5, it don't matter. This fucking movie's great. If you're
It
a
is.
horror fan, definitely check this out. It pulls no punches. So if you got a weak stomach, you don't like children and animals being harmed in films like I do, Mm, I would still recommend it because again, I think it warrants it in this story. You know, it doesn't show anything overly offensive. I mean, when we mentioned the mother eating like Santino's brains, the makeup effects was so amazing in that. You're
And
not thinking
it
of
was shot in the dark also, so
yes.
it was the makeup
So
and lighting.
the way it was shot, it wasn't like it's so good that it takes your mind away from what you're seeing. You're more in awe of like the practical effects that was used. But
Yeah.
you know, a great score. The music was awesome, and I love the opening of this movie because it starts in action. A lot of movies don't do that. I like movies that start and you're from the jump. You're trying to like hold on. I gotta pay attention to what's going on. Like it keeps you on your toes. Like immediately it starts with Jimmy and Pedro hear the gunshots and they go investigate outside what's going on, and that leads us to the opening when they find the half body out there of that original cleaner. But I just love that kinetic and frantic opening, and with the music, it was awesome. And the fact that also too Uriel, to go back to him real quick before we finish, he warned Ruiz. He warned him what was gonna happen if you
Yep.
were to shoot him.
Yep.
This motherfucker still shut the fucking go like a moron. But
Yeah. 'Cause it was
yeah.
all stupid. A lot of that's the other part. It was a lot of stupid decisions,
hmm
but at the same time, human stupid decisions.
And that's what's awesome because we are not infallible. We are indeed fallible, and you never know what's gonna happen when we get put in situations that are it's not quite in our comfort zone. If you know what I'm saying. But Joe, anything else you want to add before we wrap it up?
Nah, I mean, definitely check it out. As Rick said, definitely, if you got a bit of a weak stomach, you know, tighten it up to watch it. But I would definitely recommend watching this
I would,
one.
yeah, me too.
I don't give many fives,
Yeah,
you know. For me, it was for the ambiguity and the new stuff that I got to see.
that's cool. I like that.
So
The fact that yeah,
that's where it got the 5 because I could have given more down,
it's
but that's
crazy.
where it got it.
It got your
I'm the
5
opposite, I know.
because of the stuff I didn't like, which gave
I
it a
know.
4.5. It's just cool. It's cool. I like that. Hey, listen, guys, definitely check it out. When Evil Lurks, and watch Terrified before this one if you want to know
Oh,
more
yeah.
about this direct. Terrified, we did it on the channel prior with Tasha. Shout out Tasha. Awesome fucking movie. This one is even better. This fucking I'm right now, whatever this director is doing, I'm glued. I need to see what if he's gonna continue bringing the madness. I don't want to always see him just trying to like be shocking, because again, I don't think he did it just for the sake of shock value.
No.
The story dictated it, because the way this guy films, it's fucking creepy, man. Like Terrified was creepy. This one was more like intense. So we got two different sides of the coin here. But yeah, Joe loved it. I loved it. When Evil Lurks, and I'm pretty sure Jer loved it because he's the one that made us review it. So when he says that, I'm pretty sure he was about to give this a 5 because this was his #1 movie.
And yep, when we did our
Alright.
year in review. So
But I'm Ricky Grimes, my boy Joe the psychologist. With that being said, 2024, stay healthy, stay safe, stay sane, but most of all, Harbor Fiends, stay scared.